Listen carefully. This is not just another video. This is not coincidence. If you clicked on this at this exact moment, it is because Jesus is calling you by name. You've been waiting, praying, crying in silence, asking God, when will it change? When will the pain end? When will my breakthrough come? And now heaven responds. Jesus says, it is done. Not it will be done. Not someday. Not after you fix everything. It is done. The chains you've been fighting? Done. The door you thought was closed forever? Done. The battle that drained your strength? Done. Right now, before you understand it, before you feel it, before you see proof. Jesus is speaking over your life. I have already finished what you're still worrying about. Stay until the end of this message, because what you're about to hear is not motivation. It is confirmation. The weight you've been carrying, you've been strong for too long, holding yourself together while breaking inside, smiling for people who never saw your tears, praying with faith, yet feeling exhausted. Jesus sees the weight you never talk about. He sees the nights when sleep wouldn't come, the moments you questioned your worth, the prayers whispered with shaking lips, the fear that said, what if nothing changes? But hear this clearly, Jesus never arrives late. What felt like delay was divine preparation. What felt like silence was heaven working behind the scenes. You thought God was distant, but He was strategic. Every tear you cried was counted. Every time you chose faith over quitting, it was recorded. Every moment you almost gave up, Jesus stepped in. That burden you've been carrying, it was never meant to be yours. Jesus says, give it to me. I already carried the cross for this. You don't have to fight anymore. You don't have to prove yourself anymore. You don't have to earn what God has already promised. The struggle did not define you. The delay did not defeat you. The pain did not cancel God's plan. This is the moment where heaven declares, enough. When Jesus says, it is done. When Jesus says, it is done, He is not talking about effort. He is talking about authority. On the cross, when He spoke those words, He wasn't weak. He wasn't defeated. He was victorious. That same power is speaking over your life now. What the enemy tried to destroy you with, Jesus turned into your testimony. What you thought broke you, God used to build you. What looked like loss was actually alignment. Jesus says, the season of survival is over. The season of restoration begins now. Peace replaces anxiety. Hope replaces fear. Clarity replaces confusion. Doors are opening that no human can shut. Healing is flowing where doctors said impossible. Provision is coming from places you never expected. You may not see it yet, but the spiritual transaction has already happened. It is done in heaven. Now it will manifest on earth. Hold your faith, lift your head, and prepare your heart. Because when Jesus calls, lives change, chains fall, and destinies awaken. What you thought was over, there are things you buried, dreams you stopped talking about, prayers you no longer prayed out loud, not because you didn't believe, but because you were tired of hoping. You told yourself, maybe this is just my life. You learned how to survive disappointment, how to expect less, how to live with unanswered prayers. But Jesus never called it over. What you thought was dead, He calls asleep. The delay did not cancel the promise. The pain did not rewrite your destiny. The failure did not surprise God. Jesus says, I allowed it to pause, not perish. Every closed door redirected you. Every loss refined you. Every tear prepared you for what you could not yet handle. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. That thing you thought you missed, you were protected from it. That relationship that ended, it was mercy in disguise. That season that broke you, it taught you how to hear God's voice. Jesus is now breathing life back into what you gave up on. And when He restores, He doesn't restore halfway. He restores completely. The shift you couldn't see, something shifted the moment you stopped trying to control everything. When you whispered, "God, I can't do this anymore," He replied, "Good, now let me." Heaven responds when surrender begins. You didn't lose strength, you transferred it. Jesus steps in when human effort ends. That's why the pressure increased. That's why the battle intensified. That's why the enemy attacked your mind the hardest. Because the breakthrough was closer than you realized. The confusion was not a sign of failure. It was a sign of transition. Jesus says, "You are crossing over. Old cycles are breaking. Old patterns are ending. Old wounds are losing their voice. What once triggered fear will no longer control you. What once hurt you will no longer define you." This is the shift where faith becomes sight, where prayers turn into praise, where waiting turns into witnessing. You didn't imagine it. You didn't make it up. God was moving silently, powerfully, intentionally. And now the results are catching up. What Jesus is doing right now, Jesus is touching areas you never let anyone see. He is healing memories, breaking soul ties, removing shame you thought was permanent. You are not the same person you were before the storm. You are wiser, stronger, more anchored in truth. Jesus says, "What tried to destroy you will now serve you. Your story will free others. Your scars will speak louder than sermons. Your survival will become someone else's hope." The enemy wanted you silent, but God made you a voice. The enemy wanted you bitter, but God made you bold. The enemy wanted you broken, but Jesus says, "It is done." This is not the end of your story. This is the reveal. This is the turning point. This is the moment heaven makes it clear. You were never forgotten. You were never alone. You were never defeated. You were being prepared. Step into what is finished. Stop standing at the edge of what God already completed. Jesus is not asking you to fight harder. He is asking you to trust deeper. Faith is not believing God can. Faith is knowing He already did. You've been praying from fear, not from authority. But today, Jesus changes your posture. You are not begging anymore. You are agreeing with heaven. The same voice that calms storms now speaks over you. "Peace, be still." That fear was loud, but it was never in control. That doubt felt real, but it was never truth. Jesus says, "Walk forward, not because you see the whole path, but because the path is already secured." What God finishes cannot be undone. What Jesus seals cannot be reversed. This is where faith stops asking when and starts declaring now. The ground you're standing on is holy. The season you're entering is intentional. The future ahead of you is guarded by God Himself. If this message reached you, it means heaven is calling your attention. Jesus is standing before you, not with accusation, but with open arms. He is not counting your mistakes. He is revealing your purpose. You don't have to clean yourself up first. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to understand everything. You only have to come. Jesus says, "Give me your fear. Give me your regret. Give me what you can't fix." And in return, He gives peace. He gives direction. He gives life. Right now, wherever you are, pause, take a breath, lift your heart, and receive this truth. It is done. The past no longer owns you. The enemy no longer controls you. The pain no longer defines you. You are forgiven. You are restored. You are called. If you needed this message, let it be your response to Jesus calling you. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Because when Jesus says, "It is done," He means everything.